Just turning off my Wi-Fi. Hey, folks, welcome to the Crush This Monster Truck Podcast. It's Cheech here. Want to let you know, just give me a heads up. Brad had to go to get some, so I guess a surgery, last night. Actually today, and this morning I went from a different timeline there, but he is out doing okay. So that's a cool thing. He won't be on today. Um, like I said, he had a scheduled appointment on Tuesday today, and get some things taken care of, which he's now okay, ready to go, and all that jazz. Yes, Brad's on right now. Surgery went well, so awesome recovery for him. Cool deal for that going on there. Um, so don't mind my mic. I got a new camera, so I don't know if it's a little clearer. Is the audio good? I even got a light. So I'm trying new things. Pretty soon, maybe an office, maybe a clean shave, stuff like that. But once again, want to thank awesome thank you to uh, our guest today, Joey Sylvester and High Octane Coffee. He's been with us since day one, and it's pretty cool that he's still on with us and still kicking. And also J Concepts, thank you. They're also having new bodies coming out, some new tire treads. If you want your RC needs to build yourself a pretty wicked cool monster truck, RC monster truck, go to J Concepts. They have bodies, tires, body mounts, you name it. They're also licensed. One half of the Bigfoot deal with a new trucks and stuff like that. Samson and USA One. Justin Stories, once again, go pick up his Christmas poems. Like I said, it's going directly towards the foundation that he's provided. $12 for a book, $4 will go to the proceeds to the company that he's with. It's pretty cool. All the stories that he has is awesome. I'm also digging the comments. It's awesome to see you guys giving love to Brad. He kind of was text messaging me this last night, and that's cool that everything's going good. Everything's taken care of, and he'll be back next week. Which also, I gotta find a guest next week. I've been so busy with what's going on with our dealerships and farm shows and etc. that I haven't really had time to pick up person. So if anyone in the monster truck world want to be a guest, feel free next week. Also, so the foundation that he's helping out is, let's see here, it's called Project Sanctuary. So if you guys also want to help out that, I will also put on the description when we post down for you guys. But like I said, it's like poems and stuff like that about Christmas and Halloween and stuff. So it's pretty cool. How do I get rid of this thing? Anyway, continue on. Back Channel Productions does a lot of stuff for the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Also, Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Some of the times do some episodes of the 4-Wheel Drive Jamboree. Pretty cool stuff. Go check out his stuff on YouTube, Back Channel Productions. 6B Apparel. They are awesome. No doubt about it. We're going to probably get some t-shirts, some old school t-shirts. And camera probably doesn't see. I'm pretty much up close, but it's cool. It is what it is. So maybe I need to step back. Okay, you can see the Kodiak. But yeah, check out his stuff. They do our uniforms, $100 a pop. Message me or Brad for it. We're probably coming up with some hats and stuff like that. So take a look at that stuff too. Also, JB Scale Graphics. If you want to finish out your awesome monster truck, RC look, go to JB Scale Graphics. They're officially licensed of Bad Habit, Bigfoot, Obsessed, Against the Grain, Heavy Hitter, Overkill. You want your truck to look like them? Awesome. Then you want to add some little flash and flare, get some flags. They got some flags and some cool stuff going on there. And also, want to thank you all for all the 5-star likes on iTunes, Spotify. I didn't get the feedback that I asked for last week about this opening segment. We're going to try it again. I listened to it. It was pretty cool. So right now we're going to get to it and we're going to get going here and we're going to bring out Joey Sylvester. But first, how about that cool intro? So, you know what? Let's do that.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
What's going on, Joey?
I like it.
I try something different. A little the intro, then intro. It's just saving for the audio of the podcast. But how you been, man? How's everything going in good old Buckeye State? How's everything going right now?
Busy, man. Busy. It's been a good year. You know, I mean, coming off last year, not really having many shows. We've been booked every weekend, just as a lot of people in the industry has, and it's been great to see. You know, we've had, I think, 2 weeks off since I got back from Vegas back in June. So, you know, we've got Canfield coming up next weekend. We got a couple other shows to finish off the year, and we're already starting to get stuff booked into next year. So it's definitely a welcomed busy time.
Man, and we got a lot of catching up to do, even though it's been 1 year. Once again, I like to say thank you for all you do for supporting, you know, all the giveaways and stuff like that to our podcast. And it's been pretty rocking since then. And I just wanted to go on a side note and say thank you for that also.
Yeah, man. Are you guys still drinking coffee? You guys haven't ordered any for a while.
You gave me like a 2-year supply of that stuff. I'm still on my third bag and I still got like 6 more to go. But you know what? It's good because all I need is 1 cup to wake me up in the morning, and not even that much, you know, not even that big of a scoop. All I need is like maybe like 1 scoop of it and half a cup of water, and I'm set. You know, and for a 1-man band, that's good for me. So it's better than, you know, drinking Monster or, you know, Mountain Dew in the morning and stuff like that. So I can't complain about that stuff whatsoever. And you know, and the cool thing is I don't have to add anything to it. It's just straight good. So yeah, that's all that matters to me. But I'll be back during Thanksgiving. So, you know, I'll stop by and try to hang out with you and go from there. But since then, the last time we talked, I know it was in the works. It wasn't finished, but the Mayhem ride truck, it's pretty cool that you got a standard stock Ford F-250 pickup truck and you build it from the ground up from everything. And take it through the process about it. And also, how did the people react seeing your Mayhem truck?
Man, the first event we did was the Indianapolis Jamboree last year, and it's been well received everywhere we've been. It's been super reliable. It's super comfortable. You know, I get in that thing, turn the key, turn the air conditioning and the radio on, and go. It don't matter if it's hot or cold outside. We got all, you know, it's a normal truck. So my fiance, soon to be wife, in about a month, Gabby, she drives it too. Kyle drives it when he needs to. And we keep that thing pretty busy. We're hoping to book that truck a lot more later in the year and going into next year, try to get some more bookings for it. And yeah, I tell everybody it's like an old school monster truck. You know, he started with an actual steel bodied truck and the stock frame is still there. Everything's there. We just put 5 tons under it, and it's got re-arched 5-ton springs in the back. And then we 4-link the front with a set of King coilovers. And it's super stable. It's super wide. They're full width 5 tons. And with the hubs flipped out. So the track width of that truck is like 13.5 feet. So it makes for a good ride. I can really run it pretty pretty fast and make some really tight turns, and the truck barely has any body roll at all. It's a fun, safe truck, and everybody gets off with a smile on their face.
So, I mean, I've seen also social media, you've been driving it around a couple times. Has there been a couple times where you're like, hey, you got to get in the other truck, and you're like, I like this. It's air conditioning and comfortable, and I'm still driving a monster truck.
It was a little difficult. Like the past couple of weeks, we've done some shows where we just were really short staffed. It was just me and Kyle and Gabby is running a merch stand. Kyle's, helping me with the ride truck. So I had to drive the ride truck and Bad Habit. So it was hard to get out of Bad Habit after doing a freestyle, then get in the ride truck and not push it too hard. So
Gotcha. In the process, like you said, it's pretty much old school build, but with a modern twist in it. Just curiosity, the in the truck itself, is it still the standard stock Ford motor that came with the truck, or did you added a motor to it?
no, dude, it's a bone stock 6.2 liter Ford V8 with an 8-speed transmission. And it works really nice just with the gearing and the axles and the SCS drop box. We usually just put it in second gear and just leave it there. And it ends up being like the perfect speed, the perfect acceleration. You never really want to go any faster than what you can do in second gear with people in the back. And it just works, man. I think it was a 2-wheel drive work truck I bought, and it's got like 230,000 miles on it.
Nice. And the name Mayhem, let's go with that. Like, what got you the idea of it, and also the scheme of it?
I just I thought it was a cool name. We were taking people for a ride, and they're in the middle of mayhem. It's chaos. Plus just the word mayhem with the A in it. I wanted to incorporate the Anarchy logo because since I was a kid, I've always been just in the punk rock and anti-establishment. And if anybody that knows me will definitely attest to that. I don't really care much for authority and politics and all that stuff. So the Anarchy symbol kind of fits the personality, and I wanted the truck to kind of resemble that as well. It's like an extension of Bad Habit. It's like Bad Habit's little sister. And they kind of grew up watching Bad Habit and picked up all of the craziness of that, so if you notice, the color scheme is just flipped. Instead of being orange with purple flames, it's purple with orange flames. And I think what really solidified it. I was listening to the radio, and song Mayhem came on by Hailstorm, I think it is. And I was like, yep, this is perfect. And if we ever decide to do another identity for a race truck, it would work really well too. And then Gabby takes on the personality of Miss Mayhem, when she drives it. So we got t-shirts for Mayhem that'll be a Canfield, and it says Miss Mayhem took me for a ride. And it's got this little cartoon character of Gabby hanging out the window going like that. So we'll have the Mayhem shirts. We got some really cool Outlaw Drag shirts that will be debuting at Canfield as well.
That's pretty cool. And then we're still talking about, we'll get up to your recent, schedule and stuff like that from the 2021 season, and how successful you've been running this year. But last year, I mean, the year that I thought was pretty cool was you bringing back the Nightmare Express. Can you tell the story about how it came up with it, and what modifications you had to do to get that thing up to par with today's standards?
Well, that truck has definitely lived up to the name on the side of it. It has been my nightmare since day one. Going into this year, and first quarter was really kind of hit and miss. It was scarce for a lot of people, and me and Gary were like, okay, we don't know how long this is going to go on for, so let's try to think outside the box and do something different with monster trucks. And I had some friends out at Speed Vegas, and I hit them up and got a meeting with the CEO. And I said, hey, what do you guys think about a monster truck experience? We've got Mayhem. We've got, the Nightmare Express for the real extreme ride. And they were just like, when can you be here? And I was like, well, I got some updates I got to do to the truck first. And making some updates to the truck turned into a complete rebuild. Like, I honestly wish I'd have just started from scratch with a brand new chassis and everything, just because it was a ton of work in a very short amount of time. And I changed literally everything on it. The only thing that's still left on that truck from when Gary built it originally in 1999, I believe it was which it was the first 4-seater race truck back then. Gary had the idea to go out, and his idea, I don't think, was really to take people for a crazy ride flying through the air. It was to be able to bring out like executives from Ford or like big sponsors at Monster Jam and bring them out for intros. And then, they could be introduced and get out of the truck, and then he would go race it. So they could actually ride in the truck he was racing in. And it never really, he kind of got out of the sport right around that same time. So it never really got to go and do what he intended it to do. And then he, went full-fledged into Yankee Lake Truck Night for a long time. So the truck made a lot of appearances at Truck Night. He did all kinds of stuff like tug of wars and things like that. He did crush some cars and jump a little bit. Actually with me, I had my old Bad Habit truck there, and he went out and, jumped over some cars and stuff too. And we did a little exhibition together, but that's all the truck ever really did. It didn't do a whole lot other than that. And I know Gary had bigger plans for it than what it was doing. And it was sitting in his shop for the past few years, not doing anything, just collecting dust. And I was like, why don't we revive this thing and build it up to today's standards as well, with all the safety updates, longer travel suspension and all that. And that way we've got a truck that if things don't work out with given rides, or we decide we don't want to do that anymore, we can go and book it at shows. So he was all for it, and she went under the knife in January, and I believe I finished it, I want to say in like May, end of April, beginning of May. And literally the only thing left on it is the main frame rail, the cradle, and the exterior most part of the roll cage. Everything else is brand new, has been modified, added to. I stretched the wheelbase 12 inches. It's got 26-inch travel shocks all the way around, not just one single shock. It's got 2 shocks. It's got 45-inch Patrick housing, sheet metal housings. It's got updated wheel tethers from Pablo. It's got all the knuckle support rings, reinforced knuckles, Patrick steering rams. The list goes on and on and on. It's got all updated driveline cages. I added some tubing to the roll cage. We put carbon fiber Momo containment seats in it with 6-point harnesses that are adjustable, a whole bunch of different ways so that we can accommodate many different size people. The truck is still somewhat left side drive, but the driver's seat is so far forward to accommodate the back seats. I had to kind of move it over to the right just a little bit. So it's kind of in the center, but still offset to the left a little bit, just because you needed room for your legs for the gas pedal and the brake pedal. But everything inside it is set up a lot like Bad Habit, the gauges and everything, the rear steer handle, the shifter uses all the same stuff. We put a Chevy motor in it because the Ford motor that was in it was one of Gary's race motors, and it just crazy high compression, made like 2,000 horsepower, just totally not necessary for what we were going to do with the truck. So we pulled it out and we got it sitting in a corner of the shop that we're going to use for a project someday. But we put just a basic 540 in it, not even what's in Bad Habit, just kind of a mild-mannered 540 with a power glide. Moved the motor forward, moved it as low in the chassis as we could. And really, honestly, the geometry of it and the shock angles and stuff are very, very similar to my old Bad Habit truck, with the exception of the cradle being different. The motor placement being a little bit further back. It's very, very similar to my old truck. Just real light in the front end. We're still trying to dial the shocks in for actually going and doing shows and getting big air and stuff. It worked well for giving rides because we used the landing ramps so that we didn't, jar people around too much. And we never really went too crazy with people in the seats. So, now that we are actually doing shows with it, we want to get the suspension dialed in a little bit better so Kyle can air it out and, be able to still walk when he gets out. But it's been an experience for sure. That truck has fought me tooth and nail from the beginning, and it's still fighting me tonight out in the shop. I just came in here and we got the motor back from VZ Engines down in West Virginia, who built motors for me back. I can't remember what year, but he built a lot of my Bad Habit motors back in the day. And we got this motor that from somebody down south earlier in the year, and it made its passes in Las Vegas, and the very first show that we did with it, it kicked the rod right through the block. So it blew all to hell, and we had to have the thing rebuilt. So that's why Nightmares was supposed to do a lot more shows this summer, but it hasn't because we've just had trouble getting parts for the motor. But now the motor's pretty much brand new, and it's out there ready to go for Canfield.
Now, people may not know or may forget that the truck that you have for Nightmare is still a excursion sheet metal, isn't it?
It is. The body's still a sheet metal Ford Excursion body with opening doors and everything. And the plan, me and Gary, we've talked about putting a fiberglass body on it. We just haven't got around to it yet. We'd like to do maybe like a quad cab Super Duty, but fiberglass, and make the doors open and close, and then just have a real short bed on it. It's that steel body's super, super heavy, and it's a pain in the ass to work on.
Gotcha.
Like we actually have to lift the body up to get the motor in.
Wow. So you had to lift the whole body up just to get the
motor. Yeah.
Whew. Man.
Yeah, and it's heavy. You're not just lifting it with a couple of guys. It takes the forklift and a chain fall, and it's a lot of work. And
you had during the event that you had the Nightmare truck there. Kyle was driving that, correct?
Yeah, we drove. We had it at Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, for Monster Truck Throwdown, and that was literally Kyle's first time ever even driving it at all. And it was the first show that it got to do, and just unfortunately, like one hit in the freestyle, it kicked the rod through the block. Just as he was starting to kind of get familiar with the truck and start to get used to it. But he's driven Rap Attack. He drove in our pay-per-view show last year. He drove JR's truck, the Wolf's Head truck, and he did a good job. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got in Canfield, man. I know he's super excited. It's our hometown. He's gonna have a lot of friends and family there, and we're just trying to put the best truck we can underneath him.
Now, I just accidentally right-clicked. I had a escape bar for a volume control, and I accidentally hit right-click, which when it happened so fast, I got Dustin Park's question in there, so I'm gonna throw it in there anyway. He said, which I'm sure he's got in a lot. Okay, so he said, what led to the idea of having the hater cut cleats on Bad Habit? It reminds me of Lupe's grinder truck back in the day, kind of with the little. So we'll talk about the hater cleats.
Well, we when we got our sponsorship with Yokohama, and they sent us tires. They're a big, heavy, full cleated 16 ply ag tire, just like a Firestone. They're a really, really nice tire, and we're like, obviously we can't run these things. They're ungodly heavy. So we've just always been friends with Jeff and done work with him in the past. And Gary's known him for a long time, and he's, in my opinion, the best tire cutter there is when it comes to mega truck tires or mud truck tires. I mean, he's incredible. He's like an artist with a tire groover. So we just worked out a deal for him. And I said, hey, then just make these things as gnarly and aggressive as you can, but also as light as you can. And he shaved off, I think it was 240 pounds per tire. Those things on the rim weigh 780 pounds, which it's probably a little bit less now because I've done so many burnouts and shaved them down. And he was actually just here today and had to kind of mellow them out a little bit because the way he made them scooped, they had like a lip and they're like a sand paddle, and they just take everything. The front tires throw dirt on me. The rear tires throw dirt on the motor, and it clogs the air filter and just makes a mess out of the motor. And I was like, okay, we may have a little bit too aggressive of a tire. We don't quite need that. So come and just shave that lip off. So now they have more. They still have the hater cut on the look to them on the sides, but they don't have they're not like scooped over. They're just a straight cut now. So mostly you won't really notice much of a difference to them visually until you get up close to them. But they're a gnarly tire, man. They're aggressive. Like you need some horsepower to turn them things. It does not like doing donuts unless it's on really slick surface, and it puts a lot of heat in the transmission.
So let's talk about the Vegas experience that you guys are having. You were talking about it a little bit, and maybe people heard about it but don't know about it. Explain about the Vegas deal and what you were part of.
Man, it was really cool, to be at such an awesome facility like Speed Vegas, where they've got, exotic car experiences, short course off road, rally cars, drifting. It was pretty cool, and to be able to give people a little taste of what we do, I can tell you there was nobody that got out of that truck that didn't have the hugest smile on their face, and everybody had the same reaction, and it was. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Just the acceleration, the noise, the power, the jumping through the air. It was pretty darn cool, and I took everybody for a ride, from race car drivers to YouTube stars to Instagram models. I mean, it was a wide array of people that were in Las Vegas to come to Speed Vegas and experience that. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I don't know if we'll do it again. It's hard to say. There's some management changes going on out there at Speed Vegas, and then we've got a lot of our own stuff going on back here. And I obviously can't be in more places than one at a time. So, obviously the first priority is Bad Habit and Mayhem. So it was cool. It was definitely a fun experience. I got to drive everything else while I was out there too, and I got certified to be precision driving instructor, and took people for drift demo rides, and take people for rides in exotic cars and stuff like that. So it was a fun experience.
So we fast forward to, like you said, you guys are building and put together the Nightmare Express truck. The around April or May, the ball started rolling. I always consider, people may argue, but for me, by my opinion, I always thought you're like a throwdown OG. I mean, when they started Throwdown back in 2013, you did a few races for them. You got back with them, and also you did some Map Motorsports shows, especially in Springfield, and a couple of those events. How was that? Getting back in the swing of things, I guess.
It's been pretty cool. The Map Motorsports, John Darnell, the O'Reilly Outlaw Nationals is a great tour to be a part of. Great shows, very professional. He brings in some heavy hitters, so the competition's always stiff, and you're going to be part of a good show. Same thing with Throwdown, man. I've known Elliot since he was running around with video cameras, chasing everybody around, back in the day, and to see him grow and flourish as a promoter has been really, really cool. I was even following him when I got out of the sport, a few years ago. I was still following his shows, and I would go see him whenever I could. And I just love what he's doing. I think what he's doing is great for the industry. It's great for the sport. It's a great image. It's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to doing some more shows with him next year for sure.
That's pretty cool. And then also, you're doing your shows too. Which one hits home for me is the West Virginia Motor Speedway show. That was pretty cool to see near Parkersburg, West Virginia. That show. I seen it back in the previous owners that had it, and it was not running in the last. I think 10 years or whatnot.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, how many times have you driven past that place on 77 and be like, man, it'd be really cool to do a monster truck show at that place with the big hillside grandstands. Mm-hmm. So when I found out that Cody Watson took it over, I knew Cody from the dirt track world. He was a promoter, and he ran a modified series, and I just kind of knew him through that. And I called him up and I said, hey, man, you want to do monster trucks at your place? And he's, obviously said, yeah. And it was our, we built a pretty long track there, and we'll see. Maybe we'll do it again in the future. It was cool to be a part of. It was cool to do a show at that venue. It was also really cool, like as a young business owner myself, it was really cool to see Cody really go in there and revamp that place and put his time and his money into it. And it looks like $1 million. He put so much effort into that place, and it definitely shows. It's a first-class facility all the way, and I think the potential there for him in the future is substantial. There's a lot of seating. It's a big track. The dirt's actually from a dirt track racer's perspective, the dirt is really nice on the track, and it's a really wide, racy track. It's crazy fast, especially in like a sprint car. But it's definitely cool for sure. And the outlaw drags, we're just trying to do our own thing, man. I mean, and I'm not trying to go out there and copy off what anybody else is doing. We're trying to kind of set our own pace and do something totally different from what I think other promoters are doing and what has been done. Try to kind of throw my own flair into like the old Penda style racing and stuff, and try to make racing exciting again. Try to make racing as much of an attraction as freestyle. Like, I don't want people to be at an outlaw show looking at their watch during racing saying, okay, well, is it time for freestyle yet? I want them to be like engrossed in the racing as well. And I think we can definitely do that as we grow as a promotion company and as a team to build the tracks that I have up in my head. I know you've seen some of them because we played around on rigs or rods with some of my crazy ideas. And these kids on rigs or rods took my ideas and made them into a virtual track. And we're like, okay, this could work. This could work. And if things come together the way they're supposed to for Canfield, you're going to get a little taste of that craziness too, of a racetrack that nobody's ever seen done before.
And another track that was a first, and I think your promotion was the first one. It was cool to see Paul Strong and Kayla Savage. They purchased a track in North Carolina. You're one of the first promoters to do monster trucks there. That's another cool idea too. Just another racetrack, this time in North Carolina. So how's that experience like too?
Anytime I can see Paul and Kayla, it's always a trip, man. I mean, we go way back. We traveled the country together. We've got more stories than you can possibly imagine, and more good times shared together. So now that we're all getting a little bit older and a little bit, we all calmed down a little bit. It's cool to go and see them and what their future holds and their investment there of their track at Horsepower Park. It's cool, and I wish them all the best. We went in and they promoted a show last year and just had me come with Bad Habit and do some exhibition stuff, and then Jimmy Cretin did a show back in January, and then we went back in July and did a show, and went pretty well. I mean, the stands were just about full, and everybody seemed to have a good time. And Paul and Kayla they're blazing their trail. They're working on that place. I think they just had a dirt track race there too that did really well. So it's been cool to see that.
Yeah, and then also, fast forwarding to, let's talk about, also, like you mentioned, you dealt with Matt Motorsports and stuff like that. I think you took a freestyle win there, and you have a couple trophies right behind you. Yeah. I mean, you said they're professional and stuff like that, but the atmosphere, a lot of fans in the monster truck world circle their dates for, shows and stuff like that. But how cool, like you said, how was that experience like dealing with them?
It was awesome, man. I mean, if you're circling dates and you're a monster truck fan, you better be circling dates for Matt Motorsports and O'Reilly Outlaw Nationals, and as well as the monster truck throwdown and hopefully the outlaw drags. They're some of the best in my opinion. When me and Gary decided to build a new truck, build a new Bad Habit, and give this another go in the business and the sport. And we kind of sat back and we said, this is what we want to do. This is what we don't want to do. This is who we'll run for and who we won't run for. And, we're not trying to go out there and fill every single weekend with shows just to fill every weekend. We want stuff that we could be proud of being a part of. And the Monster Truck Throwdown and the O'Reilly Outlaw Nationals are definitely two tours that we're proud to be a part of, and hopefully we can contribute to their success moving forward and contribute to the overall performance of their show. Like, I look at things a lot differently these days than I used to when I was young, and I felt like I had a lot to prove in the sport. And I come from a racing background of racing motocross and racing downhill mountain bikes, and just super ultra competitive nature. I believe a thing or two about super ultra competitive people and natures. And I learned that this is, while we do still race, I would kind of compare it more to like the old days of drag racing, of match racing, where they were going around, you're racing your buddy next to you, but at the end of the day, you're getting a paycheck and you're trying to put on the best show you can for the people in the stands. So don't take yourself too seriously in racing. Don't take the points too seriously in freestyle. Go out there, lay it on the line, do some cool shit, go flying through the air, and put on a show that makes people want to come back again next year. Put on a show that makes them want to go buy your shirts because they feel like you entertain them for the night. And that's really the kind of the way that I look at it now. I don't try to go out there and kill everybody in racing, or I don't really care about points and freestyle and all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's all about putting on a show. I want people to go home saying, you know what, that Bad Habit truck, he did not take it easy. He laid it all on the line, and I want to go see that guy again. And, that's another thing I like about the Monster Truck Throwdown and, O'Reilly Outlaw Nationals is when you go to those shows, everybody that's there has that mentality. Everybody's throwing it down. Everybody's going big. And it's just an awesome show to be a part of. I look at all my competitors at a show like that as like we're a big band. Like, do you ever see a band go on stage and the lead singer want to see the guitarist or the drummer do bad? No, they're working together to entertain a crowd. So that's kind of the outlook that I have now. And I think it's allowed me to have a lot more fun.
Nice. Let's talk about the Canfield Fairgrounds. Finally, we got the date set. It's actually, I think it's 2 weeks from now. Next week, I think. Next
weekend. Next Saturday,
weekend.
man.
And it's the last time I believe you did a show there was I think back in 2013.
It was
the return of the Monster Truck show there, but this time you're bringing your Outlaw Monster Truck Jags in there, and your ideas and everything like that. And let's talk about the Canfield because it's close to home for you. And how exciting is it for you?
It's definitely exciting, and it's been cool to see everything starting to come together. The sponsors, all the teams that I've got coming, just the local community that, people talking about it. So it's literally 3 miles from my house. I have to drive past it every single day. So when you drive past something every single day and you're thinking about everything you want to do, I just want to go put on the best show that we possibly can. We'll be, starting to build the track on Thursday next week, and we got some cool stuff planned, man. It's going to be a great show. We've got, like I said, the Outlaw Drags, we try to do things a little differently, and that entails 3 classes of trucks that everybody knows, but we kind of throw our own twist at them, throw our own name to them. Pro trucks obviously are what everybody knows is a 66-inch tire monster truck. We've got 6 pro trucks. We have 6 pro mods, which everybody knows as mega trucks, but we call them pro mods because it sounds cool. And I like the rivalries of like pro mod drag racing. You've got different body styles, you've got different chassis styles, and you've got 3 different, actually 4 different engine combinations you could have. You can have a supercharged motor, you could have a turbocharged motor, you could have a nitrous motor, or you could just have a big, nasty, naturally aspirated motor. And I think that creates a cool show, a cool rivalry. So that's kind of why we're dubbing it Pro Mod Monster Trucks, and just kind of adding a different, and plus they're running a different track. Those guys have never really jumped over cars much before. So it's a different style of racing for them as well. And they're fast, man. They're light, they're fast, they're loud. So it puts on a good show for the crowd. And then we have the mini trucks, which we call the Young Guns class. And that's just, something that, I want to give people all truck entertainment. I don't want to have, freestyle motocross or quad wars or anything like that. People are coming to see a monster truck show, so let's give them all monster trucks. And we're also going to have 2 vintage trucks. We're going to have Gary and Lone Ranger, and we're going to have Jerry Richmond and Terminator, and they're going to be kind of like a mid-show intermission history lesson, really. The fans of Canfield will kind of get a brief lesson of where the trucks came from to where they are now.
What's even cooler is you have, you and being local, but you also have Jerry and Gary bringing back. So let people know that there's a lot of good history in Northeast Ohio that people may not expect. In that general area, there's a lot of old school monster truck world. If you even throw Jake Heike and Aces High over there in Pittsburgh, that was kind of a big deal, and it's still growing today.
Absolutely.
So I mean, and also, and the cool thing is you're the straight drags. You're bringing that back. The history of Canfield. The infamous curb that took a lot of good trucks out during the Penna days. you know, is that you're bringing that back, and uh, that's pretty cool to see. More history.
Yeah, I mean, I tell everybody there's such a rich monster truck history at Canfield Fairgrounds, and there are so many iconic names that have rolled through there, so many great races that have happened there, and we're just trying to revive that in our new school fashion. You know, we want to do a long drag race track. That's what the Outlaw Drag is all about. I think a lot of other places are doing their version of racing and turning style tracks and stuff like that, and we're going to try to carve out our niche and bring back some excitement with drag racing. I still think there's something to be said about seeing two trucks lined up next to each other and drag racing to the finish and crossing over a big finish line jump side by side, and two drivers just giving it all they have to get across that finish line. I think it's good entertainment. I think it's good for cameras because the cameras aren't all over the place. I think it's good for the fans because they're focused on two trucks going on the track at the same time instead of one truck's over there, and you don't know where to look. So it's just, and I've got a lot of ideas on how we can evolve the drag racing track from what people have known it to be over the years. So just this will be our toe in the water this year, and if things go well next year, it's take it to the next level.
Gotcha. We got a couple fan questions here and a couple of old school side of stuff like that. And one of them there's two questions. One of them's from Monster Jam Renato. He wanted to know how did you come up with the name Bad Habit? And then Brad asked if there's ever an idea of a throwback Bad Habit scheme on the old school Ford truck.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not really a cool story to the Bad Habit name. I had a long list of names, man. When I got into the sport in 2006, and knew I was building a truck, and I knew I was buying Tim Tesmer's old Carolina Crusher truck. I had all kinds of different ideas, and Bad Habit wasn't even one of them. And we were just sitting down my basement one night, and my buddy's girlfriend was paging through a magazine and saw a title of an article called Bad Habit, and she's like, "What about Bad Habit?" And I'm like, that works. I like it. And, because I wanted something that was 2 words, not too short, but not too long, something easy for people to remember, something hopefully easy for the younger crowd, for the kids to know and spell and be able to pronounce. There's some trucks out there now, like there's some names like the shark truck, Megalodon. Like, what little kid can say that word? Like, I couldn't say that word when I was 5 years old. Like, so
like JR's Exterminator. Just kidding with you, JR, but I don't know. Exterminator,
So that was kind of all stuff that I took into consideration when I did the name, but there's not really a cool story behind it or anything like that. And I've just always tried to make my name as big as the name on the truck because I feel a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on just the name of the truck, and the guy who designed it and built it and drives it and is taking on the personality of the truck, or the truck is taking on the personality of the driver. I think a lot of guys kind of missed the boat on that. So I always tried to make sure that my name was incorporated with the Bad Habit name. As far as doing a throwback, I haven't really thought about it. It's not really, I guess I haven't really hit the 20-year mark or anything like that. Yeah, I'm getting there, but I've got, I'm kind of the person that I don't like to see the same thing for too long. I like changing things. I like new cars, new motorcycles, new paint jobs. And, so I look at something and I love it. And then some time goes by and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for something different now. So I'm sure we'll see something different with Bad Habit. We're working on something right now. I put out on social media with Heat Wave. Not sure if that's 100%, happening yet, but it's a cool concept. They're digging it so far. So we're just kind of in discussions on how we can capitalize on it, how we can build the brands together. But it's kind of like their style is like 90s, and which is a really hot thing right now. So we try to do like a retro 90s style Bad Habit body with the colors and the design of it and stuff like that to match their brand.
Now, speaking about some cool ideas, now a couple months back, your truck was kind of in a group of other vehicles for the camping world. That was pretty cool to see because it was posted on Twitter, Instagram, and it was people outside of the monster truck industry that was posting this stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Getting, people now, getting your name out, outside of, the industry and stuff like that. And that'd be pretty cool. That's pretty cool to see, right?
Yeah, that all stemmed from Marcos Lemonis, the guy that obviously he's a major entrepreneur. He's owned many businesses. He owns Camping World, and he's actually from Camel, Ohio, which is where my mother was born, where I spent a lot of my childhood growing up because my grandparents lived in Camel. It's just north of Youngstown, and that's where he's from. So I was like, man, maybe he'll see me. I'm a local boy from Youngstown, Ohio. Maybe he'll take note of that. And nothing ever really came of it other than a bunch of social media shares and stuff. But I was ready to do it. Yeah, I was ready to do it if they were. It'd be a good fit. Talk about the perfect demographic for the outdoor world and a camping world. And I mean, how many people that are monster truck fans go camping or have a camper or are looking to buy a camper or, can go to a Camping World and buy all the accessories and stuff like that for camping that they have there. So I thought it was a good fit.
Right. Yeah. So, and then also another question, what after the throwback, what got you your ideas on the bad habit schemes? I mean, they're all every scheme that you have. I mean, yeah, they have flames, but they're all individually different. Did you talk to someone that just say, here's my guidelines, or did you have stuff in your head saying, okay, this is what I want?
Pretty much just what I want, and I just explain it. My bodies used to all be painted. Beckett Body Works used to paint all my bodies. One of them was done by a local pinstriper airbrush artist that goes by the Wizard, and he's done a bunch of stuff at my coffee shop now, and he'll come out to some of my shows and he'll set up his pinstriping booth and do motorcycles and cars, and it's such a lost art, But I mean, I grew up going to hot rod shows with my dad. I grew up going to the drag strip with my dad and looking at motorcycles and cars, and my whole background is hot rodding, and I love old school stuff. I love flame jobs. I love pinstriping, gold leaf like I did on the new Bad Habit. So as much as in my head I would try to come up with something that was radically different from the previous Bad Habit, they all ended up looking the same because it's just what I like, but Beckett Body Works used to paint all my stuff. And then when he retired, my guy that was doing my graphics on my motocross bikes was like, hey, when are you going to let me wrap the monster truck? And so we just kept going. And now my graphic guy that does my wraps does all my stuff, does majority of my graphic design work. Like we've been working together for so long now. He's got a good knack for taking what's in my head and making it into something. The name was actually done all by hand by the Wizard, the guy that I was telling him was a pinstripe artist. I told him what I wanted. I said, I don't want anything that's a font. I don't want anything that looks like anything else that's out there. And, I said, just start sketching. I want bad to be like emphasized in the name. We're coming out with a new truck. It's a new year. I've been out of the sport for a couple of years, so I don't want to use the same logo I used to have. Let's come out with something totally different. And I explained kind of what I was looking for, the old hot rod look. And so he threw a few different designs at me, and this is the one that stuck. And, so it was actually hand designed and then put into the computer. And, so that's how the new logo came to be. But the trucks all got flames on them. I love flames. I just always have. And they got some, there's some pinstriping in there and stuff. But the new Bad Habit, if you've seen it up close, is not just a wrap. It's not like a printed wrap. It's actually the whole body's wrapped in satin black. And then he took wrap material and ran it through his plotter and cut flames out of the orange. Then he hand laced the orange flames down. And then he took purple pinstripe tape and hand pinstriped the flames by hand, which again, whether you're painting pinstripes or you're doing it with vinyl, it's still kind of a lost art, like guys can pinstripe with stickers. So he pinstriped the flames and then he put the Bad Habit logo on there. So it's not just like a printed wrap. So there's quite a few layers to it. Makes me feel really bad when I break it up.
And like, what was it? The West Virginia show? Was that one of the first rollovers that body had? One of your first rollovers in that
Uh,
truck, right?
I didn't roll. That was North Carolina.
No, okay,
Um,
yeah.
that was, I think that was like only the second rollover I've had in the new truck. I haven't rolled it too much. Been beating it up, but haven't really rolled it too much. I rolled back in like February at one of the O'Reilly shows for MAP, like Odessa or Waco or something. I just did a cross thread, and when I landed, it blew a tire off the bead. So the truck it like started twisting over, and I got on the brakes, and I had to dump it because the wall was right there. So I just dumped it on purpose just because I needed to stop before the wall. But then the North Carolina show, yeah, Paul had these big off-road tires. And I had no idea they were going to throw me the way that they did. I was thinking I was just going to do a nice pop sky wheelie up and over and just sent the truck straight back. And it landed like on the wheelie bar and never touched the tires and just flopped over backwards.
Man. And the cool thing is the videos that I've watched your truck run and also in person, it seems like that truck soaks up everything that you're putting it through. And it just keeps on telling you, come on, man, bring more. Let's do this. You know,
It's been working pretty good.
yeah. Yeah. Like, because I remember, I remember sometimes when you had the old bad habit, like watching, well, as a fan, watching, and then like, I know you were doing shock combinations and doing stuff like that, but in racing, the truck just, you get out of control and you're trying to save it and it's already dumped. This one, just looks like you can hammer it down. It just soaks up everything. And it just seems like, you could put it through a lot of, it's a good working piece.
Yeah, it's it's kind of a combination of my years of experience and knowing what I wanted, and years of experience knowing what he liked. And whenever I would throw ideas at him, it's our partnership, Sylvester Bauer Racing. So when we built the truck, and I would always say, hey, we can do this part, and I'm probably going to break it in a year, and it's going to cost us a lot of time, money, and aggravation down the road, or we could spend the money on this part and I'm probably not going to break it. And so he was always like, yeah, let's get the good stuff. Let's make it as best as we can. We put the bigger axles in it. We got the CRD champagnes, the CRD knuckles, all that stuff. And, the shocks are angled in really far. They're super wide housings. They're 47-inch wide housings, which the thing barely fits in the trailer. And when it's on the big tires, it's about 13 feet wide. So it's super wide too. The truck is really, really stable, really, really stable. It's super low. That Eddie chassis, the motor's slung super low in it. It's been a challenge to get the shocks to work the way I wanted, just because the truck is so heavy and I'm not used to that. My old Bad Habit truck was pretty light. So it's been a challenge to get the shocks where I like them. And it's just kind of always been, I've always done my own shocks. I've always built them. I've done some shocks for other people too. And I really enjoy watching trucks work and trying to diagnose and figure out what I can do better. I communicate a lot with Josh, always have, Josh Garcia at the Digger Shop. He's a phenomenal shock tuner. And through my years, him and I always had a pretty good open conversation, all the time about what we're trying and what we're doing and what's working and what's not, and, comparing notes and stuff like that. And I still call him to this day, and I have questions and, hey, what if I do this or that, or if I change the oil to this, so it's been this year. I've changed my shocks quite a bit throughout the year. Pretty much every show, I've thrown something different at the truck to see if it gets better, 2, if it gets worse, or 3, it stays the same. And then I know. So usually I kind of took that mentality from race cars. Every time we'd go to the track, even if the car was working great, we would do one thing different and see if we got faster, slower, or stayed the same. So I try to do the same thing with my shocks on the truck. I try to do some different things and see what it likes, see what it doesn't like. And I can tell you from the outside, it looks really, really good, but there's still some hits that I take that I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's just me getting old or what it is, but it usually hurts me once a night at least.
Yeah, I mean it was continuing on, which was I always thought was pretty cool. Was around 2013 and 12 when you won your Young Guns and stuff like that. Always remember how your truck was always like a kind of like a rectangle type, the stance, meaning like how everything it will articulate or handle how it is. And this truck still has that same um, mentality. And that once again, when you said about the years of experience, now that's one thing that I noticed about when you had your older bad habit truck was that when you got that thing dialed in the way the way you liked it, that thing also handled whatever you wanted to do with it too. Was Like I said, it's always been your mindset for even both trucks to have like a stable. A lot of guys like them low, some guys like the high, others may be motor in the front, motor, stuff like that. But your trucks kind of sometimes reminds me a little bit of how Max D handles a little bit, which is it sucks up everything also.
Yeah, when me and Gary decided we wanted to do this and build a truck together, I went to Eddie, and believe it or not, I was trying to work with Eddie to develop a front engine Eddie chassis. We were trying to I was looking at it and I'm like, what if we just like leave everything where it is and put the body on backwards, and like change this and that. And he's like, hey, he goes, you're not going to have anywhere to sit. Cause I wanted to be left side drive with a passenger seat. And, I was like, so we were racking our brains, and I brought 2 seats to his shop and we mocked them up to see what we just could not make it work without moving the motor drastically and ultimately affecting a really good handling chassis, in my opinion. Eddie's been around the industry for a long time. He's built a lot of chassis. He's worked on a lot of trucks. He's worked with, all the company trucks for a long time. So he's really got a good handle on things. The truck is super easy to work on. Everything's easy to change. It's a very functional truck. That's why I decided to not try and reinvent the wheel at the end of the day. But I do really like the way a front engine truck works. I love how Tom's trucks work still to this day, and like Harper's Outlaw truck. I love front engine single rate coilover trucks and those sway bars. I still think that those are some of the best working trucks for freestyle that you can really get. I hate sway bars, to be perfectly honest. I hate sway bars and I love coilovers, but this truck, I talk about it all the time, how I might try to do something, go back, revisit the coilover program, take the sway bars off the truck, or maybe at least leave a sway bar on the back, because the motor is so low and it is so far forward. I don't think the truck would have an unmanageable amount of body roll with coilovers on it and no sway bars. It's just a matter of just having the time to do that, and to really be able to try to get it dialed in when the truck is probably, I'd say 75% what I really like right now. So I don't think I'm going to try to go back and make any drastic changes or anything like that. It is working pretty well right now. It's super low, which I like. It's really, really stable. Like, you got to really, really screw up to roll that truck.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we got a couple guys was asking some questions, and I guess this has been blowing up on chat a little bit. And since the big reveal yesterday, people are wondering, are you ever going to come back to Monster Jam?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I get that question probably daily on my social media, and the best thing I could say is all you guys that want to see me back in Monster Jam, call them, email them, blow up their social media, because they don't talk to me, plain and simple. They don't answer my calls. They don't answer my emails. I'll put it right out there right now. I've called them. I've emailed them, said, hey, we've got a great truck. It's working well. Love to come back to work for you guys. And it gets to a point where I don't want to start to feel like a nagging, crazy ex-girlfriend. And I'm not going to keep calling you. I'm not going to keep emailing you when I just get ghosted and I get no response. I'm like, you know what? Throwdown likes me. Map likes me. All the fans at those shows like me. I'm fine with running with them guys. It's not like they're second to Monster Jam. I think they're better in a lot of ways. Yeah, they don't have the football stadiums yet. But there's a lot of stuff that fans don't see that you have to put up with when you go and run those shows backstage. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I I love running for John Darnell, Matt Motorsports, and O'Reilly. I love running for Elliott. I love everything about his shows. I love working with Elliott. Me and Elliott are friends on a personal level. We text each other jokes and stuff all the time. I ask his opinion on things that I'm doing with my outlaw drags because I don't look at him as competition. He doesn't look at me as competition. We're both doing our own thing because I value his opinion. I'm like, hey, dude, what do you think of this? What do you think of my new stickers I just did? Or what do you think of this logo or this shirt? Or, so would I go back to Monster Jam? Yeah, I mean, but doesn't seem like they're in a real big hurry to call me or invite me to any of their shows because a lot of fans, I don't think, realize that this is like I said, it's like it's the entertainment industry. It's like being in a band. You have a promoter that calls the band and says, hey, we got this venue, this city, this time, this date. We want to book your show. We want to book your truck. So it's not like it's like, oh, well, Monster Jam's coming to Detroit. Let's go there this weekend and try to qualify. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. It'd be cool if it did, but that's just not how this business works. You have to be contracted to go and perform for any promoter. And plain and simple, they don't call me. I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of an outlaw. I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of I don't know, just kind of do my own thing, Yeah. I don't, I like what I'm doing. I enjoy the people that I'm working for. And I enjoy, the fans that we've gotten to work with and, but it's not me saying no, that I don't want to go there, but they don't call me. It's that simple.
Sounds like you're in the same boat with the truck in St. Louis.
It's very true. And as we all know, they're still living, they're still surviving, they're still succeeding every day. It's still the biggest name there is. They ain't been there in years. So
right on. Now we're gonna go off a little bit of subject. Some fans are, just the simple questions, which it's pretty cool to hear the stories of them. But I think this is probably based off your hot rod experiences and stuff like that. But what made you from Josh Green? He said, what made you choose zoomy headers over the conventional style, kind of like the MagnaFlow mufflers or the 4-tube, short headers and stuff like that. So what did you go with the funny car type headers, if you want to?
We get that question a lot, I think because Monster Jam is gotten so much press and is so big and all their trucks have mufflers on them and stuff for whatever their reason is that they feel they need to have mufflers on their trucks for noise. The last time I checked, the Monster truck is supposed to be big, loud, and obnoxious, correct? It's supposed to like blast your eardrums when you go to a show, like not be quiet. Like, what's the point of being quiet? Like, I don't know. Like all my vehicles are loud. Like I like loud motorcycles.
It's like watching Godzilla on mute.
Yeah, like would a top fuel car be as cool if it made no sound? If it was quiet? Like, no. Like I just like noise. Every vehicle I've ever owned, with the exception of like my daily driver now, but like I've always liked loud stuff. I just always have, it's just, when you're a teenager and you're trying to sneak out of your girlfriend's house, like late at night before her dad knows you're there. And you're like, there's no way he's not going to know I was here. My truck is too loud. So you just haul ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always had loud vehicles, man. I like the noise, the funny car headers. I love the way they sound. I love the cackle, at nighttime, and she's running a little on the fat side. You can see some blue flames shooting out and stuff. So, but just personal preference, really. I think the motors run better too when you can, not have any restriction on the exhaust. Right.
We with the Hall brothers, we normally we have a truck, display truck. It runs a 528, but it does a lot of the cackle fests. So like the guys may bring, alcohol dragster or, maybe a nitro, and they just run the cackle, and then they look at us like, hey, you want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we'll turn the truck on, let it run for a little bit. But if anyone ever been to a cackle fest, go to it. It's pretty freaking
So
cool.
they're pretty cool. They had one at the SEMA after party a couple years ago. They call it SEMA Ignited, and they had some old nostalgia dragsters there, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll tell you who's got speaking of ride trucks, you know who's got a rowdy ride truck? Cretan's got one. It's the Knucklehead truck.
Yeah.
Dude, like I went and did a show for him a few weeks ago with Mayhem, and he had his 2 ride trucks running, and it was the craziest thing I ever seen. The show was so crazy busy, and there was so many rides going on. We had 3 ride trucks going nonstop for 6 hours. Like it was fun. We're like chasing each other around. It was pretty wild. But that Knucklehead truck, dude, I bet you that thing could beat some race trucks that are out there these days. Like it's gnarly. He would take off, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we did a show in Eden, Oklahoma, and he brought that truck down, and that truck's louder than some of the monster trucks that
It's got
like,
a nasty sounding like I think it's a boat motor, like a built like boat motor.
Mm-hmm. And freaking idols, just you're like,
oh yeah,
like.
But you know what though? It was like 85 degrees and hot that day. That dude who was driving that truck had to keep shutting it off and get out. He was all hot and sweaty. I was sitting in there going like this. I had to turn my air conditioning down a little bit here.
Put the windows down. That's when I drive the ride truck. When I have the Raminator ride truck, it gets a little toasty in there too. But I was like, man, it doesn't hurt to get some AC in here. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
Then again.
I want to put some speakers in the back, so like all the people in the back, I could crank some music up for them and stuff. So probably some winter upgrades getting done to the ride truck.
I also noticed that you've been still mountain biking and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And you when you go out, let's just say when you have actually time from going to show, do you occasionally plan on bringing your bike and maybe see if there's any local trails or any ideas on that when you're on the road?
I usually always do, unless it's one of my outlaw shows, just because I've got so much to do. Pretty much one of my bikes is always in the trailer with me, and I'll always go ride somewhere. I've been into biking since it was the first thing I did. It was like the first like actual racing I ever did when I was a kid. I was like 12 years old. And I raced semi-professionally when I was in high school, mountain bikes. And I've got a really solid group of friends that I ride with now. And like literally the day after Canfield, my bachelor party is a week-long mountain bike trip to Arkansas with like 14 of my friends. So, I still love it. I still get way crazier and stupider than I probably should. But it keeps me in shape. It keeps me outside. It keeps my mind from going crazy, trying to just always do the same thing and hustle with my businesses and with the trucks. And, it gives me an escape, I absolutely love doing it. There's not many things in life I enjoy more than mountain biking. So yeah, I do it every chance I get. Like if I could ride every day, I ride every day. When I was living in Vegas for those 2 months, I literally rode just about every single day because the weather's always good. So I rode pretty much every day.
Man, that's pretty cool. And
I had a gnarly crash though on Monday. We went and we did some downhill stuff on Monday, and I took a pretty good digger. Probably the worst one I've had since I was racing in high school. Like it took me all week to really recover from it. I'm still not 100%, like still pretty jacked up from it. But
all right?
Yeah, no, I tore it up a little bit. But we fix it. But it was a hard crash, man. It was real hard, real hard. So at the end of the day, I was pretty lucky that I didn't get hurt worse. But it was like, it's God putting me in check, saying, "Hey, stupid, slow down a little bit,"
Yeah, because these bikes that you have are light but tough, aren't they? They're like you have to have them light, but also they're durable.
Yeah, I've got a few different bikes, for different, depending on what kind of riding we're doing. And, 2 of them are full carbon fiber frame and everything. And, but they got, like my enduro bike has like 6.5, 7 inches of suspension travel. It's a pretty rowdy bike. Like you can get pretty stupid on it.
Nice. Yeah, I was always thinking about getting a bike so I can not even ride from home to work, and I've been looking around and stuff like that.
Dude,
I
you've
don't
been
want anything.
talking about that for a while. When are you going to do it? Just do it. Just get one.
I know. It's just, I don't know. I haven't pulled the trigger
It's
yet.
your
I need
first.
to.
A bicycle, is like, it's such a simple thing in life. And when you think back, when you're a kid, it was your first sense of freedom. A bicycle was your first sense of freedom. You could get on that bike and just go. So, like, I think everybody that rides a bike, it triggers something in their brain it brings that kid back out in them,
Right. I was looking at a cruiser, not a mountain bike, but a cruiser. And I'm like, I could dig with a cruiser, because I'm not going to go anything like, insane way. I just want to cruise from my house to work and work to my house. I think I could still get the same cardio. So I'm thinking about a cruiser.
There you go. Hey, you got to start somewhere, man.
Yeah. I know. I always been talking to you about that. I've been dropping the ball a lot on it, but I'll get to it.
Dude, you feel so much better when you eat healthy and sleep good and get regular exercise. Like you feel so good. It helps me be able to take the hits in a truck, to be honest. Like when I get totally stupid out there, it's how I can really take some of the hits that I do, where I think some people that might not be in good physical shape would probably not be able to get back in the truck the next day.
And also,
I've taken some hard ones.
Also, people may not know about when you're strapped into the truck, the endurance. I heard stories like people are at the end of freestyle, they're like, running out of breath, and
if you're out of shape.
Like,
you're out of shape, no, it don't take that much endurance to drive a monster truck. You're out there for 90 seconds. Like it doesn't take that much endurance at all. You're just incredibly out of shape. If you can't breathe and you're huffing and puffing, your heart rate goes up. Like, to be honest, because I wear a heart rate monitor, and I can remember checking my heart rate when I was racing sprint cars, and as crazy and as dangerous and as fast as that is, my heart rate was actually lower when I was racing cars than it is before I do a freestyle. Why? Because it's that crowd, it's that excitement, like your heart's pounding, your adrenaline's pumping, and your heart rate is going 100 miles an hour just because you're out there and you want to do a good job. At least I do. That's the pressure that I put on myself. It's to go out there and do a good job. And I hope the truck holds up, and I hope that I can perform my best for the fans.
Man, that's pretty cool. And people, Nick Davis says he's going to see you next Saturday. So
Hell
Back
yeah.
Channel Production's going to be there. So that's going to be pretty cool. It'd be exciting. Next Saturday is going to be your big deal at Canfield, and fans, how fans can get in contact or tickets, or can they pre-order? What they can do?
Yeah, pre-sales been going like crazy every day. outlawmonstertruckdrags.com. You can buy them online. We've got youth, adult, and we have VIP. The VIP is almost sold out. It is a preferred seating section right in the front and center of the grandstands, and that grandstands is big. It holds like 5,000 people. And also with the VIP ticket, you also get a ride on Mayhem included in it, and you'll get a VIP grab bag that has a bunch of cool stuff in it, like the new Outlaw Monster Truck Drag stickers that nobody's seen yet. Some stuff from our local sponsors and things like that. And you also get a private VIP meet and greet with the drivers before the show.
That's pretty cool. And what time? I'm guessing there's gonna be a pit party and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
You don't call it pit party. You call it something else, correct?
Yeah, dude. We call it Thunder Alley just because I try to make it a little bit more or less formal than like a pit party. Okay, stand by your truck for 2 hours and sign autographs. No, it's just kind of like the trucks are there. We want fans to go check them out. If you got work to do on your truck, do it. Let people see it. I usually try to set it up where the haulers are with the trucks too. Canfield, it's not really a good layout for that, but I try to kind of take the whole NHRA open pit format model and apply it to what we do. But there's then all the sponsors have their vendor booths. We're going to have an RC team doing their thing. And drivers are just kind of hanging out, and if you see your favorite driver and you want their autograph, go ask them, but then we'll do autographs after the show at the merchandise tent and stuff like that too. So, there's a lot going on before the show, and, so we just, again, try to do our own thing.
That's pretty cool. I have to say, because I've been to a few NHRA events, and the atmosphere, not in the racing, but in the pits where the trailers are at, is pretty freaking cool. Like, you don't have a line, or, you got the guys preparing and you're getting ready to do your 8 seconds of hell. When I say that is when you're standing next to a nitro car and you have to just stand there and just nitro just hits you in the face, and you're crying and your snot's coming out.
Yeah, a lot of fans don't get to see us working on the trucks that much. So like the West Virginia Motor Speedway show was a good one, where the hauler, everybody's hauler, the monster trucks are right by their haulers. So people got to see a little bit more of what we do and got to see how we transport them and all that kind of stuff. So plus it makes it a lot easier to have your merchandise right there and stuff. I let everybody sell their own merchandise at my shows, if they have the ability to. We're also doing a truck parade at Canfield. So behind the grandstands is a big paved area, and that's where Thunder Alley is. So we'll have all 6 big trucks. We'll have the 6 Pro Mods, the 3 Young Guns, the minis, and 2 vintage trucks. So you're talking about, I don't know, I'm not very good at math. How many trucks total is that? That's
a lot.
12, 15, 17 trucks total are all going to parade at once out into the grandstand area at 4:30, and then intros are at 5.
That's pretty cool. So go check that out, guys. Canfield Fairgrounds. Be pretty cool. Our guys from Throttle Out Show is popping in.
Yeah.
So they want to know.
Love them guys.
I don't know if it's Austin, Tweety, or Harley, but they're asking, when are you going to bring your show to Texas?
I don't know, man. There's already a lot of shows in Texas and a lot of promoters down there, and I'm trying not to get in over my head, just because of, I'm new at the whole promotion thing. And I still don't have like a full-time staff or anything like that. So for us to go into new territory where we're not familiar with and we don't know anybody, and it brings on a whole new set of challenges. I do love the state of Texas, by the way. But it's just baby steps right now. Canfield goes well, we'll do a handful of shows next year. And we'll see where it goes from there, man. I kind of got into doing promotions, promoting shows and trying to build up a new series, one, to give back to the sport that I love, to try to do something different. And also for when the day finally comes that my body says enough's enough and I can't go and perform anymore at the level that I feel I should be in Bad Habit, being able to promote shows and coordinate shows and still entertain people is going to allow me to be able to still be a part of what I love doing, just not behind the wheel.
For Spence, I guess you probably get more lucky having a outlaw drags in Michigan. Could be, right?
Who knows? Elliot does a lot of stuff in Michigan, so
yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't, and that's another thing a lot of people don't know about this business too, is there's a lot of promoters out there. There's a lot of promoters. Some are good, some are not, and some promoters respect each other, some do not. I, for one, respect the guys that I do shows for, and I'll never go somewhere, and try to go in somewhere to do one of my shows and hurt somebody else's, or try to go in a venue that they've been doing for years and go in and try to either outbid them on, a fairground rental or a track rental, or if it's a sold show, say, oh, well, I'll come and do my show for less money. Like, I don't want to do anything for less money than anybody, so, just, like I said, just kind of taking baby steps right now. I learned a lot this year, the few shows that we did do. One of them being that I need a lot more help, that I need a full-time staff. So at the end of the season, we'll see where things are going for next year. I don't see us adding a lot more shows for next year other than the ones that we did this year, just because I don't feel like we've perfected our system yet, and our team isn't. I don't have a full-time staff. Like, I need to be able to show up to a venue and all my people just disperse and start doing what needs to be done. So it just we're getting there. We're getting there. We'll see where everything goes.
That's pretty cool. Nice. Let's see. Oh, man. All right, more from the Throttle Out show. They want to know thoughts on the circus companies promoting monster truck shows now. 3 that we know of is happening now.
Well, like I said, everybody does their own thing. I can tell you right now that they're not doing shows the way we do them. Just different atmosphere, different, different, I don't know, attitude. Obviously my shows are going to reflect my attitude, my personality a little bit more, which is a little bit more aggressive than I think most people are used to in monster trucks, and a little bit less fluffy dinosaurs and dancing elephants, and more hot chicks and outlaw gear and pyro and big crazy jumps and freestyle and insanely fast monster truck racing. That's what I'm all about. Like I said, I like all killer and no filler.
Right. Like my uncle says, I'm going to teach you to drive fast, fire fireworks, and listen to Motley Crue. So,
that's right. That's right.
But man, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again.
I haven't been to any of their shows, so I don't know that much about them other than what I've briefly seen on social media and what other people tell me. So I try not to pass judgment on anybody until I really have dealt with anybody. But I mean, they have asked us to go and do some shows for them, and it just hasn't worked with our schedule. But who knows? I mean, every show we've done this year, I know people want us back. So like I said, we're already pretty booked into next year.
Yeah, some people are commenting. I guess one of those circus shows in Kansas City, they over sold seats and they refused to give people money. So yeah, that's on social media. Yeah.
And the problem is like they don't have like a distinguished name, like their name is Monster Trucks. So the general fan that doesn't know the difference between all the different promotion companies and Throwdown and Outlaw and Renegade and Monster Jam, and like the average person that doesn't know the difference just associates us all with that. So when somebody does something like that, it's a big freaking black eye for all of us.
Yeah. Or when no offense to mega truck guys, but when they have an accident, the news kind of throws it in and says it's a monster truck, when on reality it isn't a monster truck. It's tractor tire truck. Yeah. And the media gets confused about that also, what the difference between the trucks that are behind us and a truck that they just bought lifted up with tractor tires on it. You know what I mean? And it's just it is a sore area because it's not us. You know what I mean? And the saying goes, one rotten apple can ruin a lot of good ones. And
and we've seen that happen over the past couple decades in the business. We've seen people that didn't have the proper safety equipment make big headlines and not in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, on that bombshell, we'll change it up a little. What's the rest of the schedule like for Bad Habit after Canfield?
After Canfield, I'm taking a week off, like I said, and my bachelor party is going to be me going on a 1-week mountain bike trip to Arkansas with all my buddies, where I hopefully don't have a lot of cell phone service and nobody can get a hold of me and I can just go ride my bike.
Dang it. I was going to text message you that week.
After that, I'm taking a couple weeks off, unintentionally took weeks off because I'm getting married on October 16th. And but then I'm right back at it the very next week. Right after the wedding, I go to Wheatland, Missouri for MAP for their big show. I believe it's televised on MAV TV at Lucas Oil Speedway. And then the week after that, I go back to Motor Mile Speedway at Radford, Virginia. They've got a big event going on, like a big fall fest pumpkin smash festival thing for Halloween weekend. And as of right now, that's all we have this year, which I kind of prefer that way because I'd rather take that time off and regroup for 2022, get our schedule solidified, get our sponsors solidified for next year. Restock inventory of merchandise, give me a chance to catch up in the shop building spare parts, get everything ready to go for next season. I don't want to book myself all the way up to January 1st. And then I'll be all of a sudden like, oh my God, the motor needs refreshed. We need to replace all the Hyman joints on the truck. Everything's falling apart. Like I'd rather have a couple of months to really dig into everything and make sure we're not bringing a knife to a gunfight come first quarter of next year.
Gotcha. And what type of social media people can follow you on to see where Bad Habit and you will be during first quarter?
Joe Sylvester 8 on everything, on Facebook, on Instagram, not Twitter, because I hate Twitter. I think it's stupid. So Instagram, Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel too. And, I thought I was going to be Mikey Vaughters and start editing videos and create a vlog and stuff like that and be all successful at it like him. And pretty soon I was like, man, I just don't have time to keep up with this. Like, he's done such a great job and my hat is off to him. I think it's so cool. I watch all of his videos and stuff. And I think it's what he's done has really been good for our sport too, because it's so entertaining and he shows people what they don't really get to see all the time. He shows them the good, he shows them the bad, he shows them the ugly. And, and he's always really real with everything he does. And he's really found his niche and he's really developed a really good craft with editing videos and music and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, that'd be really cool to do that, because I look at it's great, great outlet to the fans. And it also makes you more marketable for sponsors. And so I got a YouTube channel. I just unfortunately haven't had a lot of time to keep up with it like I would like to. Maybe one day or maybe one of these days I could hire Nick Davis to just follow me around every week with a camera and make videos. So, but for right now, Facebook, Instagram, Joe Sylvester 8, Outlaw Monster Truck Drags on Instagram, on Facebook, and outlawmonstertruckdrags.com is the website. You can get your tickets for Canfield, and hope to see everybody out there, man. It's a historic venue, and I guarantee this will be a show that makes everybody proud.
Right on. And, thank you again for helping us out, being a sponsor for our podcast. We've been doing it for almost a while. And we tried different outcomes and stuff like that. And we're starting to, and the cool thing about it now is like, I'm starting to get people to come to me and be like, hey, I listened to your show. Last week we were in Kansas at the State Fair for All-Star. We did a show there last Sunday. And two of the quad riders I didn't know came up to me and said, we listen to your show and watch your show on Facebook. We think it's pretty cool. I was like, I didn't come up to them. I didn't tell them what I was doing, and they knew what I did. Hey, Dad. My dad said hello. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. And then, you accepted our okay, and you said, all right, let's do it. And you've been there since day one, and I'll be back home during Thanksgiving, so I'll do my normal stop by and see you and stuff like that. And since COVID, though, I saw you a little bit earlier, but I'll catch up with you in November. I think there's a little bit of a good schedule gap I won't interfere with, correct?
No, man, I should be around Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure I'll be around.
Okay, because I always make my stops to see you and then Jerry Richmond.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Always stop by there because I always have to hit up the Melt. Me and Andy always go to the Summit. We always go to Summit, then we go to the Melt, and then we see Jerry, and I think I see you the next day. So, and then I'll stock up and do a giveaway. But I actually have something that I have a game plan for you. I'll let the cat out of the bag. I opened it up a few weeks ago, and I didn't get any feedback, but I have it. It's a 10 scale LMT, but it has the Bad Habit relapse body on it, and I'm gonna do it as a giveaway. So
nice.
Since I still have it, I'm gonna do a little commercial with you. So it's all decked out exactly like that. The wraps made by JB Scale Graphics. And the body is rocking, the 70s Ford on an LMT truck. So I'm gonna try to do it as a giveaway, just for appreciation for these fans and stuff like that, and my appreciation to you and Jason and them giving you guys the awesome retro crew shirts. Hopefully, you haven't sold out on eBay yet. But once again, thank you, and I'll, see you later this year.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody's local this weekend, we got a Cars and Coffee at High Octane in Boardman on Sunday, and we'll have we'll have Mayhem there on display. And all next week, we'll have truck displays all over town. Lone Rangers are going to be at the Canfield Fairgrounds this weekend for a swap meet. It'll be on display there. Bad Habit will be at Fairway Ford towards the end of next week. Nightmare Express will be at Canfield Rhino. Predator is going to be at High Octane Coffee in Austintown on Friday next week. So we'll have some stuff going on all throughout the week too, where people go check out trucks if they're local.
And also off the topic, any ideas of new flavors you're going to come up with the High Octane merchandise and stuff like that, or anything in the works?
I've always got ideas, but we usually come out with one new shirt every year. Usually we'll try to launch something new around Christmas time. We come up with a new shirt design, but the coffees, we got our main 7 roasts that we stick to and just keep pumping them up. We got the new Bad Habit bag that is designed, looks just like the truck. So that's kind of cool. I was pretty proud of that one. I thought it looked pretty sweet. And nobody has coffee that has that style,
I really dig the new T-shirts of your truck jumping over the Peterbilt that you guys own. We did a collaboration with Hot Rig Apparel, which makes all kinds of super rad big rig stuff. Which anybody that knows me knows I love big rigs as much as I like any hot rig or any hot rod. Like if I get my arm here on camera, like I got my Peterbilt tattooed on my arm. If I could figure out how to flip my arm to show it. There it is. No, there it is.
You can kind of see it. How do I get my arm twisted the right way here? But it's like a funhouse mirror looking in this thing. Yeah. But it was cool to work with them. And I wanted to do something different. Like I didn't think anybody really had a T-shirt that had their monster truck and their hauler on it. So
yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Not gonna lie, especially since I drive a Peterbilt. And
the Outlaw shirts, the Outlaw drag shirts are pretty rad too. That we'll have debuted at Canfield. We got, like I said, we got the Mayhem shirts. We're all restocked up on Bad Habit shirts. We got pink and purple Bad Habit shirts now too. And what else do we got? We got Bad Habit hats. I got Bad Habit hats. We got some pretty cool stickers too for the Outlaws. We got 3 different sticker designs, and definitely got some cool stuff coming out of pipelines and a lot of new stuff that'll be available for Canfield. And we might even have a Nightmare Express T-shirt for Canfield. So that's
what I was about to ask you. I was wondering if Gary has any old prints.
He doesn't, man. He has nothing. He has I think he's got one T-shirt from like Nightmare 2 days, but I don't think he ever even had shirts made for Nightmare Express. But I've got Master of Faster working on a design for Nightmare Express right now, and we're hoping we can get it done and get it off to the screen printer in time to debut it at Canfield next weekend.
Man, that's pretty cool. Man, thank you for being on. Almost an hour and 30-minute program. It's worth it.
Always is, man. Always on here forever. We don't talk so much.
Yeah, it's all good though. It's pretty cool. Got a lot of love. People are saying there's a couple of people are saying I actually drink High Octane coffee every morning. I have a Bad Habit mix and a medium roast. So some people are actually mixing some of the. Have you ever tried that yet? Have you mixed different, like a Bad Habit with your vanilla one, or have you ever tried?
Yeah, I know what they all taste like. So I roast them a certain way, just but I don't really mix them together. Every now and then I'll screw up a batch or something like that, and I'll bag it and bring it home and see if it's any good or not.
Man, that's pretty cool. That'd be a pretty cool YouTube video. I don't know if there's an ancient Chinese secret to it, but
not really.
Not really.
Not really. No, it's kind of like welding. You learn, coffee roasting. It's kind of like welding. I tell people, you learn the basics of it, but then it's a matter of kind of perfecting your craft. It's just seat time. You figure out, how to adjust the gas temperatures and the airflow and stuff like that. You learn how the coffee bean, how they look, how they smell, all that kind of stuff. It's just things you learn as you go, and you figure out, your own way of doing it,
Nice, man. Like I said, it's always been a fun time talking to you, and man, it's good seeing you too.
For sure, dude. Absolutely. Wish we could see you in Canfield. We were supposed to have you guys, back when we were doing it in July, but when we had to move the date, we got a whole new roster now because it's been a busy year for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, September, October is until November. Yeah, September, October is nonstop for us. I mean, we have fairs galore, and it's just not. It's just with the Ram and Hotsy and stuff like that. It's just, it's kind of, you gotta do what we gotta do. But it's like I said, it's pretty crazy. But hopefully we'll see you again. You know what I mean? It'd be a good time.
Oh yeah, sure. We'll see each other soon.
Yeah, but I'll see you during Thanksgiving personally. But
yeah, absolutely.
But man, well, once again, fans, thank you so much for being on. Next week, like I said, I don't know who's going to be on because I just didn't pay attention to my scheduling. That's my bad. But when you're doing, the Michigan State Fair, then right there you're going to do the Kansas State Fair. It's just back to back, and mine's doing something else. So
I nominate Elliot Miller should be on here.
Yeah, I'm good to go with that. Totally good. Brad, he's he's friends with Brad, so if there's in the works with it,
he knows a lot about the sport too, man. He knows a lot about the history of the sport and stuff.
I wanted to get Gary Bauer, but you said he's like,
good luck. I have a hard time even getting him on the phone.
But man, guys, once again, thank you. Once again, thank you to Joey Sylvester and High Octane Coffee. Been there since day one. J Concepts, like I said, if you want to start your RC monster truck gig, if you bought yourself a LMT, if you bought yourself a SMT, if you bought yourself a private monster truck, there would be the way to get the body hookup. They have the body that's on Joey's truck right there. Also, they have the body on that old Skull Bandit truck right there. If you want yourself old school look, they got that. 2 new schools, and also if you want your truck, if you want to make a Mayhem RC monster truck, a ride truck, race truck, they have the body for you for that also. So, go check that out. Like I said, they're licensed by Bigfoot USA 1 and Samson. Also, 6B Apparel. If you want, our crew shirts, $100 a pop. Go ask me and Brad. We'll hook you up. Justin Stories. He has this comic book, Making Track. It's man, I bought this new light and it does nothing but worse things for me. Glare, but all that stuff right there. And also, like I said, his poems of Christmas and Halloween, $12 a pop on Amazon or private message him. The proceeds goes to the foundation that he's dealing with. $4 goes to that group. I need to ace my test on naming products. There we go. Project Sanctuary. It's for soldiers with PTSD, depression, and other sides too. So $4 of that goes to the proceeds, which is pretty cool. Once again, Nick Davis and Back Channel Productions. Go check him out. He just confirmed he will be at Joey's show in Canfield. So if you go see him, hang out with him, maybe be on TV. But it's gonna be pretty cool because your show is gonna be on YouTube and stuff like that too. So that's awesome. And take a look. Also, JB Scale Graphics, officially licensed. If you want yourself an RC version of, I'm pointing in the wrong direction, of the Bad Habit truck, go ahead and show some love and get from JB Scale Graphics. He's officially licensed of the Bad Habit, Overkill, Bigfoot, Heavy Hitter, Against the Grain, and so much more. I think has anyone ever, I don't know, John, if anyone asks you if they can have a Mayhem, that'd be a monster truck ride truck.
Probably not a lot of ride truck RC bodies out there.
Right. Yeah, that could be an idea right there. But
Dustin Parks did a Mayhem Racer rendering that's hanging up in my coffee shop. It looks pretty cool.
oh, really?
Oh
That'd
yeah.
be pretty cool to see. And once again, a guest. I'll get a guest. But outside of that, folks, once again, Brad, hope you're feeling better. I know you just got back from surgery this morning or this afternoon. And hopefully you get better and you'll be on next week with me. But once again, full recovery. Hang in there. But once again, that's Joey Sylvester or Dirt Reynolds. And I'm Cheech. This is Crush This. You keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Good night. Peace. And